Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 4th, and we celebrate today one of my favorite saints, St. Francis of Assisi. St. Francis of Assisi lived about the year 1200 in the church. This was an interesting time in church history because it's about, we could say now it's about halfway through the life of the church that as we know it now. So the church had been around for about 1,000 years. And by this time, there was a lot of abuses already happening in the church. There was a lot of confusion. There was scandal among the clergy. There was declining attendance at Mass. And it basically sounds like what the church looks like today, if we're very honest with ourselves. But St. Francis lived during this time, and he himself was not really that religious growing up. He had a carefree youth, and he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. He was really yearning to be a soldier, to have the glory of battle. But he converted to a life of prayer when in his early 20s. He had a radical encounter with Jesus. And from that, renewal in the church began. So he heard God saying to him, "Rebuild my church." He first thought that this meant to rebuild the church of San Damiano, which was there in Assisi, that had been falling apart. But what it really meant was to begin the renewal of the faith in the church. St. Francis dedicated himself to a life of radical poverty and passionate, gospel-centered, Jesus-centered preaching. And that brought greater and greater renewal to the church. He drew so many people to himself who also wanted to live that way, that radical lifestyle totally devoted to Jesus. Not just because of like, well, okay, well, let's just do this, or this is something like radical that people can say, like, look at how good he is. But no, he was doing it out of love for Jesus. And that did bring great renewal and transformation to the church. We might ask ourselves today, what is it that the church needs? And a lot of times we can find, we look for the answers in society. What is it that people are yearning for? What is it that people need? And we can't let ourselves be taken away by those sorts of answers. The only answer is ever Jesus, a radical encounter with him. In our gospel today, Jesus is with Martha and Mary, and Martha is getting upset with her sister because she's not helping with the serving. And Jesus says that there's only one thing that's necessary. The one thing necessary is truly a relationship with him, listening to him. And it's from that deep conversion happens. It's only from that we also come to do the other things that are necessary in life, but it has to begin with Jesus. That's where St. Francis began. And so today let's ask ourselves, how can I be more devoted to him and let him transform my life? And so myself, that I might be an agent of transformation in the church to renew Jesus' church for years to come.